Welcome to this lecture on Citizen Voice for Local Governance and Development. I am Michael Chasukwa from University of Malawi Chancellor College, based at the Department of Political and Administrative Studies. Basically, I will bring to the table matters related to engagement of the grassroots in local governance and development. I will use the case of Citizen Forum, also referred to as interface meetings, as one of the spaces that offer members of the community a platform to actively participate in decision-making and running of affairs at the local level. In this lecture, the goal is to showcase initiatives that have been successful in promoting participation of members of the community in pursuit of good local governance in Malawi. It is important to note that at the time the concept of Citizen Fora was being introduced in around 2004 by local and international civil society organizations, there was strong resistance from bureaucrats. Bureaucrats thought Citizen Forum would be time-wasting, considering high illiteracy level in rural areas. Despite the Malawi Local Development Planning System Handbook, National Decentralization Policy, and Local Government Act emphasizing on the need to take participatory approach when addressing governance and development problems, bureaucrats thought members of the community have less technical know-how that would add value to the whole process of local development planning. Resistance to the welcoming of Citizen Fora was a setback to the realization of good local governance, considering that Malawi has had experience of 31-year rule of dictatorship. The window of opportunity to implement Citizen Fora emerged in 2005 when term of councillors expired. Currently, many civil society organizations are implementing Citizen Forum as a means of widening the local space for policy deliberations. The concept of Citizen Forum is a means of linking the members of the community to district council employees, public officials, and service providers. A Citizen Forum works on the theoretical underpinnings of demand and supply sides of governance, with special interest in local governance. What transpires in local forum is that public officials engage in a discussion where people ask questions on issues that affect their daily lives. Public officials provide responses, and both parties agree on the way forward. Participating in Citizen Forum is open. Everybody is free to attend. Citizen Fora have gained ground in Malawi because of the positive impact they have had on local governance. I will now focus on the successes of Citizen Fora. First, Citizen Fora have enhanced the ability of citizens to demand improved quality public services. This is against the backdrop of poor service delivery emanating from the responses of service providers. Citizen Forum uses scorecards to generate credible evidence that is presented to public officials in interface meetings. Because community members are now critical of the services being delivered by public machinery, public officers are up to task and more alert so as to meet the expectations of the people. It should be appreciated here that Citizen Fora are also contributing to the generation of critical citizenry that is much required for sustainability of democratic governance and delivery of public services, and that's according to Norris and Yamnik. Another positive thread emerging from Citizen Fora is their ability to update the so-called governance software at the local level. In this regard, Citizen Fora have considerably been successful in weakening patrimonial tendencies entraced by members of parliament. In the recent times, members of parliament have consolidated their political power at the local level by using constituency development fund and distributing resources in a manner that is perceived to be skewed to their loyalties. Whilst Constituency Development Fund is a taxpayers' fund, members of parliament portray the image to their constituents that it is because of their generosity that projects being funded by Constituency Development Fund are being implemented. Some of the interface meetings have centered on Constituency Development Fund and have been helpful in civic educating people, hence correcting the deliberately distorted picture of Constituency Development Fund. Citizen Fora have also served as means of getting input meant to review district council policy documents. District councils in Malawi have outdated policy documents, in particular District Development Plan and District Socioeconomic Profile. District councils have failed to update the policy documents due to lack of funds. Through interface meetings, public officials get feedback from communities on what is to be included in the policy document meant to guide service delivery. Interface meetings have created huge demand for services, but may not balance well with the resources available at the district council. As a blessing in disguise, high expectations have been utilized by district councils to mobilize resources. A practical example is that Palombe district in the southern part of Malawi, where the district council constructed 3 water reservoirs with extra funding sourced from central government and non-governmental organizations. In Palombe district, the water sector was allocated in December 2011 $331 US, and in January 2012 the water sector was allocated $208 United States, and come February 2012 the water sector was allocated $417 United States, which is not enough to provide all the necessary services to the local people. The bottom line is that if the demand generated is used creatively, it has the potential of attracting extra resources. On last account, voice raised during interface meetings goes a long way to represent the concerns of public officials who are not willing to take it head-on with central government. In this regard, interface meetings bring forth issues that some junior staff cannot typically raise before their superiors. This is to say that interface meetings also function as a mouthpiece of public officials who may not raise criticism about government because they want to protect their jobs. The point worth noting is that through members of the community, bureaucrats have a chance to influence decisions that are politically sensitive. The implication is that members of the community need to collaborate with bureaucrats in pushing matters that are of interest to the local people, but cannot originate from offices of the bureaucrats. What makes Citizen Fora work? A cordial relationship and trust between communities and interlocutors has contributed to success of the Citizen Fora. Trust is a condition to the construction of local constructive voice and effective state-citizen engagement. Civil society organizations helping communities with interface meetings highlight the importance of training communities on how to make a voice, how to time the voice, and how to lobby effectively in different environments. Emphasis is on capacity building, pays dividends because community members have necessary skills to engage the duty bearers. Members of the community taking lead in organizing interface meetings, other than civil society organizations doing everything for the community, is a condition for the success of interface meetings. By staying away from direct involvement in the community public officials dialogue, civil society organizations avoid the risk of accused of using the voiceless to achieve their own personal interests. Use of credible empirical evidence that is generated through scorecards make the case of members of the community strong. A scorecard is a tool that the members of the community use to score the services that are being delivered by the public officials from poor, good, very good, and excellent. And the scorecard is done in a community setting and in a very open and transparent manner. And in fact, the duty bearers also do participate in the rating of the services that are being delivered. In fact, public officials are part and parcel of the scorecard processes. The scorecard generates the qualitative and quantitative data. Successes of interface meetings are not out of coincidence, but rather out of commitment on the part of the members of the community and different stakeholders. As discussed, certain conditions will have to be prevalent if citizen interface meetings are to be successful. Next is, how do we perfect these citizen fora so that they have to achieve a lot of successes? Having appreciated the success stories of citizen fora in trying to get the grassroots engaged in local governance, it is critical as well to highlight some of the issues that will have to be improved if we are to get maximum benefits from the interface meetings. I will now highlight issues that have to be worked on to fine-tune interface meetings. 1. Interface meetings have to move away from being project-based to institutionalized fora. Interface meetings are managed as activities in a project. Activeness of members of the community is dependent on availability of resources. As such, duty bearers know pretty well that citizen fora may not be a force to reckon with when the non-governmental organization run out of funds, or indeed if there has been a shift of thinking by donors. 2. Currently, interface meetings are only targeting public duty bearers, public officials. Interface meetings should also be extended to civil society organizations, as they are also service providers complementing efforts of government. It is high time that civil society organizations should walk the talk and practice the message that they are preaching. Days of get the message and ignore the messenger seem to be numbered. The dog has to be watched out too. 3. Civil society organizations wanting to outdo each other because they want attention of donors. This mentality has frustrated networking among civil society organizations, hence failing to build the much needed critical citizenship and take advantage of synergies. As a matter of concluding this lecture, I have argued that citizen fora are doing wonders in opening up and widening of local spaces for local governance. Interface meetings have contributed to public officials, duty bearers being committed to their job and deliver services as expected to avoid being taken to task by members of the community. Citizen fora have served as monitoring tools for the work being done by public officials. And citizen fora have challenged notions that grassroots are helpless when it comes to negotiating with experts on what programs to be implemented. They have also proved helpful in influencing outcomes of local processes at the district council. In this lecture, I have also argued that basic conditions have to be in existence if citizen fora are to work. The conditions include trust among stakeholders, good advocacy skills possessed by the members of the community, and credible evidence. I thank you for your attention. I hope this lecture has deepened your interest in initiatives that bring public machinery closer to the people, where action takes place. Thank you.